Super Bowl. Welcome into the CHGO Bears post-game show. Adam Hoge, Mark Carman, Greg Braggs Jr. with you. Bears get a 23-17 win over the Tennessee Titans here. Preseason game. Number one, guys, where should we start? Matt Eberflus headed to the Hall of Fame with a 4-0 record in the preseason now. Or where does Barrington Wade rank in all-time Wades that are from Chicago and have made plays in Chicago sports history?
I mean, Barrington Wade...
Right up there with Dwayne, right?
I think he's ahead of Dwayne because I don't remember Dwayne making this level of an impact this early in his career. And Barrington coming up huge late in the ball game.
Niles North
superstar Barrington Wade. That was one of the more entertaining preseason games that I can remember. I thoroughly enjoyed that last, let's call it 3 hours and 1 minute. The last 10 minutes took a little long, but that was awesome.
In all seriousness, you made a great observation, I think, midway through the second quarter. You're like, for a preseason game, like, these teams are playing really hard.
The Bears were hitting like mad out there.
Well, look, you have two teams in the Titans and Bears that right now are the Titans have already established themselves as a very physical football. When you play the Titans, you know you're in for a fight. And that's what the Bears are trying to establish here in Chicago, and they started that a little bit last year. And I got to say, yeah, for a preseason game, like, there were some big hits. It was a tough physical football game for a preseason game.
Is it true that the Bears, if you look at the stat sheet, it says they had 8 sacks today?
Yes, according to Kevin Fishbane, the last time the Bears had 8 sacks in a preseason game was the 2018 Hall of Fame game, and the Bears went 12-14 that season. So obviously that means the Bears are winning 12 games this year.
I mean, I don't want to be hyperbolic here, but who's a better player, Travis Gibson or Richard Dent, the year that he won Super Bowl MVP? Travis Gibson was out of his mind today. It says here he only had 1 sack, but he lived in the backfield today. Put me 5th on the depth chart, Flus, and I will come for you, Travis Gibson. That was a performance by 99.
Well, we're going to get into some of the different things in some of our segments we're going to do, but Terrell Lewis also.
52.
Yeah, they were both all over the place in the second half.
All right, let's start with Justin Fields. You may have heard of him, the quarterback of the Chicago Bears, who got his 2 series in, as we sort of predicted, and his 3 pass attempts, his 3 completions, and, I mean, he's arrived, obviously. He is him, and 129 yards. As we jump into our Fields guide here, nice and simple, 3 for 3, 129 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, no sacks. Jersey did not get dirty. He didn't scramble at all, Greg Braggs Jr., as you wanted. Just really the perfect preseason game. We do not have to bring up, and I promised I would not bring up the fact that he had negative air yards in the game. So I will not bring that up, I promise. That won't be covered here on the show, that all 3 passes were actually behind the line of scrimmage. Regardless, pretty much as clean as you can get from an offensive standpoint. And the weapons are there because, as we'll get into here, the guys showed up. They helped them out.
Eli Sherman's got this Meatball Island population is booming. And just to go there right now, Justin Fields, and this is an accurate, cannot be disputed fact, 3 for 3 for 129 and 2 touchdowns. Let's extrapolate that out. That means for a game this year, if he keeps up that pace, he would, for a full game, not just playing 1 quarter, he would go 12 for 12 for 516 yards and 8 touchdowns. So completion percentage, 100. Yards, 516, 8 touchdowns, just 2 a quarter, no big deal. He's in range of that. And so if you extrapolate that to the end of the year, it's 204 for 204. 136 touchdown passes and 8,772 yards. And I don't see anything about this that doesn't check out.
We've never had a 4,000-yard passer. We're going to have an 8,000-yard passer.
Right, and people don't believe he's going to be in the MVP conversation. I don't get it.
I don't know who's saying that he won't be the MVP on this show, other than me, who said I don't think he's going to be the MVP. But seriously,
we're living on Meatball Island, baby.
Meatball Island.
There it is. Looks lovely.
I have to say, it looks tastier with the hat on. A little cheese sprinkled on there, too, a little Parmesan.
Great job by our super producer, Steven, here. Yeah, I mean, it was as good as it gets. The first ever pass we see Justin Fields to DJ Moore in Soldier Field. I mean, you said it. Throw him a slant on the first pass. Well, they threw him a screen pass, and he took it to the house. I mean, this is what we talked about, and a lot of Bears fans trying to get people to understand, hey, he shouldn't have to do it all himself. And that's what he did last year. He had to do it all himself. Now you get him some weapons, some skill guys that can do things on their own right. And look what happens. One play, one touchdown from DJ Moore.
Well, in all seriousness, yeah. I mean, you said it was we built out our ideal Justin Fields game. You wanted to see a touchdown of DJ Moore. And I was like, oh, okay, like that is kind of living on Meatball Island. I don't even know if DJ Moore is going to play. If he does, are they really even going to get him involved that much? He gets the ball one time and just runs away from the entire Titans team. Like, that was a really impressive play.
And the funny thing about it is, like, as amazing and how much fun it was, and I went crazy, especially after the second touchdown to Khalil Herbert, because it's just two long touchdowns like that. You just can't help it as a fan. But at the same time, it was like the best, worst scenario for Fields in the offense, because it was the best because it was awesome. But then both drives happened in 2 seconds. They didn't get a chance to like run 10 plays and get down the field and do all these different things. We'll just have to wait till next week, and I'm totally fine with that. But that was part of my like, hey, I'd prefer a long drive over, the one play home run.
We all would, but
you're being very picky.
Let's just.
I'll take my meatballs. I'll take my meatball dinner.
Let's just dial in that Luke Getzey and this show, mainly me, are on the same exact wavelength. I asked for a play action pass to start the ball game. That's exactly what they did. Kari Blasingame, I see you in the chat. Blasingame's been popping at training camp. I'm like, are they going to start throwing Blasingame the football? First play of the game, here comes the Blasing game. That's a game that I like to play. Bang, bang. All of a sudden, we're picking up a first down nice and easy. Then we kept it on the ground for a second, back to the air. Throw was even a step behind DJ Moore, and he's DJ God, and partied his way to the end zone.
So would you now say that dink and dunk brings the funk?
Sure, Greg.
Okay.
Let's bring the funk with the dink and
Bring the
dunk.
funk with the dink and dunk.
I said earlier this week, dink and dunk gets you sunk, but I'm willing to be proven wrong that dink and dunk brings the funk.
Well, and that's what we see.
We all did want to see him throw the ball down the field, but he didn't have to do it.
Well, and
today.
to Carm's point during the game, he said, what we've seen at training camp is what we're seeing today on a few different levels, and we're going to talk about some of the different aspects of that. But from an offensive standpoint, this is what we've been seeing at training camp. The short passing game, checkdowns, intermediate stuff, it's all been underneath. They haven't thrown the ball much downfield. And that was an observation I made, and I know to the chagrin of some Bears fans, not complaining. I'm just like, this is weird. But now all of a sudden, one game in, two checkdowns, go to the house. Hey, sign me up. It was so much fun to watch, and you can already see where DJ Moore is just going to be a serious weapon for this team. But
I mean, DJ Moore looks awesome. It's a great development.
It's amazing.
It's pretty much, if there's one for sure thing on this team right now that you feel great about, it is that they got Justin Fields, a legitimate dude. He's different. He's one of those guys. It feels a lot like, I've said this a couple times, feels a lot like when they added Khalil Mack, and you're just like, okay, yeah, we know we know that he's a difference maker on the field. Let's get to our game balls here, and Carm, why don't we start with you? Who are you giving your game ball to?
So I do have a soft spot in my heart for Trevis Gibson because he's just a likable Trevis Gibson, and I was excited about his opportunities this year with more talent around him, which we saw Jervon Dexter get a little dinged up there. I'll be interested to see what they say about him post-game. Fingers crossed that that's okay. But Trevis was put fifth on the depth chart. Trevis is very much, could be a guy that felt like he was fighting for his football life, and he fought incredibly well today in the backfield all day long. Continued effort after effort after effort getting to the quarterback.
Here, let me give you his numbers. 5 total tackles, 1 sack, and 3 quarterback hits. I mean, 3 hits. Very good.
He and it looked like he took out some punishment along the way too. He was fantastic. So game ball up for you, Trevis Gibson. Who the Bears need somebody to get to the quarterback, and he wasn't the only one doing it today, but he was doing it consistently. That was a great development.
Rags.
Terrell Lewis. I've been talking about him again, like Carm said during the game. What we're seeing at camp is what we're seeing in this game. Well, we saw a lot of Terrell Lewis in training camp, flashing almost every day. Beating guys like Darnell Wright, getting a lot of first-team reps. Well, today he's playing in the second half. What do you have, 2 sacks?
2 sacks. Also, I had a QB hit and a TFL in this game.
He's making this team, ladies and
a
gentlemen.
forced fumble.
And
That's a heck of a game.
He's making this team, ladies and gentlemen. His biggest knock was that he can't stay healthy. He played for the Rams, comes out of Alabama. He's got a pedigree of talent that you're looking for on the edge. The question is, can he stay healthy? Still got to prove that. A couple more weeks in, he makes it through this preseason. He's on this team, ladies and gentlemen.
He's never played more than 11 games in a season. But he did do that back-to-back in 21 and 22. The most sacks he's ever had in a season is 3. But, hey, you got to like what you're seeing
Which would have led the defensive line last year.
Excellent point. One behind our sack leader in Jaquan Brisker.
Right.
Well, look, even for it being a preseason game, to see production, legitimate sack production from defensive ends in a football game, it feels good. It feels different, and love it. Jesse here with the Super Chat, 199. The Gill deserves a game ball. # special teams, Trenton Gill. Although I would like to time the hang time on that last punt because it seemed a little bit short and set up that return that gave the Titans a chance.
We now turn to our special teams coach at Carmel High School who knows everything about special teams, Adam Hoge, for the breakdown on Trenton Gill and all things special teams.
Well, and I was going to say, Jesse, I appreciate the special teams love because my game ball has to do with special teams because Jalen Jones had 3 special teams tackles in the first quarter. That would be a good game. Like a really good game, let alone the first quarter.
Did he not do on the third tackle the Jordan shrug at Magic Johnson, just looking around all of Soldier Field? This is what I do.
He should have done that.
That was awesome.
That was impressive, Jalen Jones, with the 3 special teams tackles in the
love
first
him
quarter.
and Josh Blackwell. They're both scrappy special teams guys.
To put it in perspective, no one on the Titans had more than 1 special teams tackle, which is relatively that's usually how it goes. 3 in 1 quarter is insane. I just wanted to point that out. So Jalen Jones getting my game ball for doing that.
Should we do one more run through game balls, or are we done with game balls? Because I could give some more game balls.
Dishing out game balls.
Well, I just don't want to overlap with some of the players we're going to talk about here in terms of guys that we said on yesterday's show had the most on the line in this game. So one of those guys we can circle back to is Travis Gibson, because he hasn't really, it doesn't seem like he's been involved that much in training camp. They put him last on the depth chart this week, which I don't know if that was a message sent or what, because I usually don't put too much stock in the depth chart. But he delivered today, and I know it's just one game, but how do you cut him after that game?
He looked like he got dinged up, too, on one play. Like, I thought maybe his shoulder kind of hit the QB in an awkward way, and he was on the ground, and then the next thing you know, he's just back up there, and he's still, it almost looked like a playoff game for Travis Gibson, which I understand why when you're fighting for your NFL life. But that was the level of effort that we got from him today.
Yeah.
Well, and like you said, Adam, while we were watching the game talking about it, they clearly sent a message to Travis, right? With the unofficial depth chart?
Maybe. I don't know how much they really pay attention to that or not, but it certainly sparked the conversation of, like, hey, is this guy – I'm going to be honest. I thought the writing was on the wall. I was like, okay, it's going to be a uphill climb for him to make the team, but I guess the greatest way to get up the hill is to have a game like he had today. He's right back in the conversation, and I'm not sure how you would cut him after that. We'll see if he can continue that in these next 2 preseason games as well. The other big guy that we circled as having a lot on the line in this preseason game, and unfortunately it went the other way today, but Velus Jones Jr.,
Oof.
Worst case scenario. The Duke, our guy with the super chat here, $4.99. Velus, man, come on. Braggs and I talked on yesterday's show, like, did he need to have a flawless preseason, like 0 muffs? And I think yes. I think that was what he had to do. Especially in the punt return game, you had to catch it. And he catches 1 7-yard return. Okay, great. Then the next one, he makes 2 mistakes on the same play, and the Titans get the ball. First of all, I went back and watched it. that's got to be a catch 10 out of 10 times, with one exception, if the sun is in your eyes.
Right.
Which may have been. He's looking south. I don't know. I don't think the sun should have been in his eyes there. But, sometimes that happens. He's running up on it, decides at the last second to let it go. When
Then
he eats
get out
it,
of the way.
Then once you let it go, you let it go. And first of all, you have to earn the trust of your coaching staff to even be given the freedom to pick up a bouncing ball after you let it hit. And he has certainly not done that. So for him to then try to catch it on a high bounce, by the way, the only time after a bounce you still catch it to basically preserve field position is if it's a low bounce that comes right to you and there's nobody around you. To try to feel the high bounce with guys bearing down on him just tells me that he's completely lost on and feeling the pressure on what he needs to be doing. Like, the game's moving way too fast for him in that moment, and that's a dangerous thing.
Yeah, you're trying to track the ball. Your peripheral vision is looking at the gunners coming at you. I agree, it's too fast for him.
It's a hard job, and you can either do it or you can't. And there's just a lot of guys on this team right now that can do it. I'm interested to see Tyler Scott back there. Dante Pettis, if he gets back and is healthy, he was excellent. Doesn't even seem too tall for how well he was. He was very, as far as ball security, he was excellent.
The punt.
Right. So I thought it was notable too. Once he had the fumble, they did not put him back out there. If you are really trying to develop him and make him the guy, you're putting him back out there. It's the preseason. Don't do that again.
Right.
You get your one. Okay.
Yeah, but my guess is they had the reps split up, and there's only so many reps. So it's like, okay, that's your evaluation for today. Those were your opportunities. You don't get more.
But even if in the next 2 weeks he doesn't do that, now that one is on the record books, how can you trust him going into the season when it's money on the table time?
Well, and Hoge is probably right. These are your 2 reps. How do you do with them? These are yours. These are yours. Let's evaluate what everybody's doing here, Simba Webster included. Yeah. And that's what you did with yours. This is what these dudes did with theirs. We're going to make our call. And right now, ain't looking good for Velus keeping that gig. Which sucks because you use a 3rd-round pick on him, and he does have elite speed, and you would like to see him settle into doing this job. And he did have 1 catch today, which was nice to see. Like to see him see more, but at least he did catch 1 ball.
This is why, look, I don't want to be overreaction guy about them cutting a random player in the middle of August because it happens all the time. But I was a little disappointed to see Aaron Cruikshank cut before the first game because he's probably too small and way too limited to be worked into the offense on anything other than maybe an end around or something like that. And I totally concede that. But I'm not sure is Velus Jones more advanced than that right now in the offense? I don't know. And I guess my only point is, like, I would have liked to see Aaron Cruikshank, who has a long resume of being a really dynamic returner, at least get one opportunity to show what he could do in a preseason game. And I don't know if he's claimed or if somebody else will pick him up. Maybe he won't. Maybe we'll never hear that name ever again in the history of the NFL. But part of the problem here, and we've talked about it, if Velus Jones didn't take advantage of this opportunity in the punt return game, is who's your other guy? Is it going to just be Dante Pettis? Because
who got the second opportunity today? I forget.
I think it was Tyler Scott and Simba Webster.
Well, and Tyler Scott, I mean, when we talk about let's get him a chance at punts, he got the ball knocked out.
He's got a hold on the football.
And he's had trouble catching the ball. Hands are an issue. Ball security is an issue for Tyler Scott. So, we haven't seen him make a mistake as a punt returner, but with his hands clearly being an issue to this point, how can you know that you can trust him?
And that's right, by the way, it was Tyler Scott. He had 1 chance and Simba had the other. So there was 4 returns.
I mean, maybe it's asking too much, but like I want a guy that can actually be a dynamic returner, not just catch the ball so it's not fumbled.
What's Hester doing?
Maybe.
But that's what I mean. Like, if Velus Jones can't be that guy, Tyler Scott, fine. But Dante Pettis was back there last year just because they could trust him to catch the ball, not because he was going to ever take one to the house.
Right. Right.
Well, and when I asked Richard Hightower this week, what are you looking for from Bayless? And he said without hesitation, a touchdown.
And you were like, well, wait a minute. How about just ball security?
And he's like, do you remember the Seattle play from the preseason? Again, I apologize to Richard Hightower because I acted like I did when I absolutely positively did not. But that was a 48-yard return last year in the preseason. And I just said, I thought you were just going to say ball security because that's what I was looking for.
Right. There's no question once the ball is in his hands that he's dynamic.
But so he was looking for more, which was actually an uplift on the competition. Like, look, we want somebody back there who can make some plays.
By the way, shout out to the Duke, $4.99, 2,000 people watching watching. Hit the likes for the best Bears coverage in the business. We appreciate it, Duke. And yes, I have a feeling we might have some new people here today with it being a post-game show.
Yep.
If you are new here, we are here pretty much every day of the week, at least 5 days a week, even in the offseason, giving you Bears coverage, and really more like 6 days a week during the season. We're here for pregame, postgame, before and after every single game. And while we're here live on YouTube right now, you can also consume this show as a podcast anytime during the week. Find it wherever you listen to podcasts. You also replay it on YouTube however you want. And check us out at allchgo.com as well. We offer diehard memberships, which get you discounts on all our merchandise events, and we will have some awesome tailgates coming up once the season begins. We got Corey Wooten that's going to be a part of our coverage, too, throughout the year. You're going to be able to hear him weekly on CHGO. So appreciate everybody that has been here in the past, and if you're new, please hit that like button. Please hit subscribe, most importantly, so you become part of our channel. When you do that, you're also going to find our coverage on all of our teams here in Chicago as we do this type of show every single day for Cubs, White Sox, Bulls, Blackhawks, the whole crew. We got Sky coverage. We got Fire coverage. That's what we do here at CHGO, so we definitely appreciate each and every one of you.
Yeah,
Yes,
awesome.
we do.
Yes, we do. Awesome to see everybody out there. That was, I don't know, I feel like it's partly our amazing coverage right here, but it's also partly, like, that was a fun preseason game. I think that clearly Chicago is just, Bears fans are just geeked up for this team.
Yeah,
and to see the QB get out there only for 3 throws today, but to see 2 touchdown passes of the 3.
Oh, the house had to have been rocking.
Come on.
That's like one of those moments where you definitely wish you're in the stands for, because that first play to DJ Moore.
I'm just going to randomly throw out some other people, too. Kyler Gordon today. What is this? Game 1 of the playoffs? Dude's throwing his body out there like a complete lunatic. He was awesome. That was fun to see. So, and Tyreek Stevenson had a very interesting day too. But
He did.
Solid.
Let's save that for our rookie
okay.
report, okay?
Sure,
I know
sure.
I know we're excited about everything. I do need to ask one thing of DJ Moore. DJ Moore, okay? DJ, you're my DJ. Can we tuck that ball away until we cross the goal line, please?
He wanted to do the Jets, like as he comes across.
He slowed down just a little bit. Those defenders were closing in, and then he put the ball out there behind him. And I just had, Sean Jackson, flashes going into my head. We've seen too many moments like that and some blunders that end up on not top 10 or whatever. So great play, was amazing. Let's just do whatever you want after you cross the goal line. It's the coach in me. I guarantee you that comes up in a meeting this week, too.
It legit looked like he got tired at the end of that run. Like, I wasn't expecting to do this in preseason game number 1, but here I am taking one to the house, and okay, I must be good. But it's the spirit of the day today. The Titans were still playing hard on the end of that run.
That's definitely going to come up in the meeting, and then the next long touchdown. There was a long spirited discussion on Twitter. I was asking Hoge clarification on whether or not the screen pass to Khalil Herbert was a legal man downfield for the offensive lineman.
Yeah, I think it was a good observation by you. I didn't notice it at first. I think it probably was by the letter of the law, but look, the rule in the NFL, in college you get 3 yards, in the NFL you get 1 yard past the line of scrimmage until the ball is out of the quarterback's hands. And I think it was more like 1.5 yards. So, but realistically, that's happening too fast. You got to think about how the ref you can't watch 2 things at once, right?
Right.
If you're going to watch the lineman, he's passed, then you're going to look back at the quarterback.
Right.
And by the time you do that, the ball's out of his hands. So really it has to be egregious to get that call. and it wasn't egregious. So I think by the letter of the law, probably. But yeah, definitely something to be coached up on and be careful with.
Right. Even if it's fine, you're still going to talk about it because it was close. And the reason it was close is because Justin Fields had to get flushed out of the – like they wanted to do like a delayed screen where they faked like they're dropping back and then bang, get the offensive lineman out on the run and kind of bait the defense in. But when they did that, Justin Fields almost got sacked and he had to get out of the pocket, which extended the – timing of the screen pass, which caused the offensive lineman to get a little further down than they probably wanted, but no call, so we get to have some fun today. But, yeah, definitely going to be something they want a point of emphasis in the film room.
Florida Bear, appreciate you saying that. The only place for Bears coverage that is not only informative but full of laughs. That's what we try to do here.
Oh, we're just a barrel of monkeys here. Steven got the full ride today.
Quiet, please.
It really.
I get the first one. I get the first ever quiet, please.
I think so.
I'm honored.
The first of many.
Who had that on their bingo card?
Yeah.
Who's our guy that sent it?
Rob
Tinsman.
Tinsman.
Yeah, Robert
At Tinsman on Twitter made those for us, and we immediately put them in the show.
How come Hoge doesn't have one?
I agree. Can we get one for Hoge? Is he immune to
I don't think
never
Hoge goes
overtalk?
off track like you guys tend to do.
Wow.
Oh, I
Yeah.
see.
Look at Steve.
I think that's what it is.
Long-time viewer of the show, obviously.
What did you just say? Excellent point, Steven.
That's more like
There
it
it is.
A couple of guys who had a lot on the line. We talked about Bayless Jones, Travis Gibson, Kindleville Door. I don't know that there was anything too much to take away from his game other than, like, you made the observation as soon as Travis Gibson came in, like, on the second or third series, you're like, well, he's not really last on the depth chart if he's playing already. Whereas, like, Kindleville Door, we didn't see him till way later. And when we did see him, he got stiff-armed.
Kindle, get out there. There's 5 minutes left in the first preseason game. Signs that you're not going to be on the football team. I just think it's pretty apparent that the Bears believe in their cornerback depth. And, to keep Kindle, it's a $3 million salary this year, so maybe they just don't want to pay. They don't think he's worth the $3 million. They obviously have it, but it does not look good for Kindle at all as far as making the football team. But they put Gibson fifth, and he's out there early.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so then it does make you kind of think,
Was that a message?
Was that a message?
Yeah.
Hey, dude, we don't like what we've seen so far. And by the way, that in the back rooms, they're probably thinking the dude has the talent to do it, so let's just light a fire under his ass. And well, if that's exactly what they were trying to do, it certainly worked.
The other two guys that we had on our list, Alex Leatherwood and Larry Borum, not to cop out, but I feel like I have to go back and watch the game, watch the film to really get an idea of what those offensive linemen were doing. Neither one stood out to me, and I usually think that's a good sign because it definitely wrote down some numbers, like 74 on the O-line. That was like, okay, he's kind of struggling out there. I think that was Collins.
Well, I think the O-line play that everybody's excited about is seeing Darnell Wright on the move, creating space for who was it on that run? I think it was Herbert. Doesn't matter. The guy was out there firing. That was good to see.
Yep.
Downfield blocking the whole game, or on those two big plays.
Oh, that's the offense, right? You got these linemen got to be able to do that. On the Herbert touchdown, it was Ja'Tyre Carter and Cody Whitehair downfield.
And on the DJ Moore one, Braxton Jones and Darnell Mooney to start, and then Tevin Jenkins another 10 yards downfield for to open the floodgates. It was really impressive downfield blocking. I even think Cole Kmet had a nice downfield block at one point too.
That's
Everybody
the first time.
getting
That's
in on
literally
the
the first time I've thought of Cole Kmet all day. That's just funny that you say that. He was not
Actually, you're right.
like
Yeah. Well, he probably didn't play that much, but yeah. All right. We'll get to a rookie report here in a second. Lots of obviously our eyes were on a lot of the rookies, but first want to make sure you know about Pins and Aces, the official golf apparel partner of ALLCITY and CHGO. We love our Pins and Aces gear, and Pins and Aces. Just a heads up, Pins and Aces, because rumor has it that there's going to be some competitive golf happening in Indianapolis this week.
No, let me just thank you to our friends at Pins and Aces, and I just want to let everybody know, apparently on this show, we have Tiger Woods Jr., because this guy just started playing like 3 weeks ago, has played 10 rounds, and all he's doing is texting all day about his golf game and how he's shooting in the 90s. I don't believe any of it, but that's what seems to be happening.
I'll believe it, baby.
Okay, so Braggs is
I will buy you a Pins and Aces shirt that for if you.
Is this the read?
This is part of the read.
It is part of the read.
I'm going to finish the read, and then we're going to actually talk about this for a second, because Pins and Aces is a family-owned golf and apparel business. They make amazing polos, hats, golf bags. My favorite is the beer sleeve, which is just it slips right into your golf bag. You can fit up to 7 beers right in there. It keeps them cold the whole round. It's great. Check out pinsandaces.com. Use code CHGO. You'll receive 15% off your first order and get free shipping. Again, that's code CHGO at pinsandaces.com. So very quickly, we'll get back to Bears. I promise.
30 seconds.
But Braggs is texting us yesterday saying he shot a 43 on the front 9, to which I immediately responded, okay, I guarantee you shoot 50 on the back. He shot a 51 for the record. Still, pretty solid 94. Carman follows up, how many rounds of golf have you played in your life? Because this guy's certainly talking like he's got a great golf game. He says 10. So here's the question to our viewers. Is Braggs lying about his mid-90s scores, or is he lying about how many rounds of golf he's played? Because if he's really only played 10 rounds of golf and consistently shooting in the mid-90s, he is Tiger Woods Jr.
Or is he Tiger Woods Jr.? Those are your 3 options.
I literally took my first round right before training camp. I'm practicing for Cog Hill. Now I'm golfing on
That's your first ever round?
I mean, since I was like 10, yes.
That's unbelievable.
I mean,
you golfed with me 9 holes, and I gave you that work. You gonna tell
I think you look
that
like
story?
it. I think you look terrible out there, but somehow you're scoring. I don't believe in it at all. But
Bob wants to know how many mulligans and gimmies.
Yeah, how many mulligans and gimmies is a good thing?
Yesterday's not one mulligan, and in fact, when I shot a 43 on the front 9, we can get back to football because I know nobody gives a shit about this.
I think you're feeling like you're cornered right now, like Bayless Jones
No,
Jr.
because this is ridiculous. I shot a 43 on the front 9, did terrible on the back, but I had 4 pars on the front 9. I didn't take one mulligan. And in fact, the 2 times I lost the ball, I took a stroke on both.
You're not answering the question. How many gimmies?
I took 0 mulligans yesterday.
Do you putt out? Do you know what a gimme is?
Oh, yes, when you're close enough to the
Did you putt out every hole?
I personally don't.
I don't care about the gimmies. If it's within a club, it's fine.
No, it matters.
That
absolutely matters.
It does a little, like 1 or 2 strokes.
Oh, it can be
I'm
way
more
more
worried
than that.
about
It can be way more than that.
how many tee shots are we talking?
All right, whatever. I can't listen to it. The guy. Apparently we got Tiger Woods.
I just
Jr.
have one more question for him though.
Yeah.
Which?
Oh my God.
No, which mini golf course?
He needs a quiet, please.
Which mini golf course were you playing?
I was playing at Oak Knoll in Crown Point, Indiana, and it is it's a fun course to go on for beginners.
He missed.
I'm not gonna hate on it because I've been going there a lot.
How much does it cost?
I don't need the joke.
How much does it cost?
It's 25 for the round. Okay. It's not a nice course. Like the course we went on.
I'm not.
You were like, we need to get back to football.
Quiet, please.
Don't bring the quiet, please.
Yep, quiet, please. We're in the middle of. We have to thank our sponsors here.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. We'll continue this. This is just going to be a thing that we'll follow up on down the line. Hey, thanks to our friends at Nutrafol. You don't have to choose between better hair growth and your health. Nutrafol provides a whole body health approach for men that's promoting healthier hair. There's no drugs, no compromises. You're just going to get better hair here. And I know you think that losing hair is inevitable, but you can take control of your hair's future with Nutrafol's science-backed hair growth supplement for men. 80% of men will experience thinning in their lifetime. I'm not going to be talking about myself on that one, but I am experiencing some thinning, so I probably should be dialing up some Nutrafol here. It is normal. It doesn't have to be your fate, so get after it here. Take the first step to visibly thicker, healthier hair. For a limited time, Nutrafol, Nutrafol, is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com/men, and you do need to enter that promo code CHGO. Find out why over 4,000 healthcare professionals recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair. Nutrafol.com/men. Again, spelled Nutrafol.com/men. Put that promo code in, CHGO. Nutrafol.com/men, promo code CHGO.
And all of our training camp coverage is sponsored by our friends at ComEd. ComEd and the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program. You can learn more at ComEd.com/poweringbiz. By the way, I realize Matt Eberflus, Justin Fields, speaking at the podium and all that. Don't leave us here. We're going to have you covered. We'll tell you everything you need to know from those press conferences. Nicholas Moreano will be joining us here shortly, too, from Soldier Field to wrap all that up. And if you're somebody like me and Carm and Braggs, we like to go back and watch the press conferences later, too, so that's always an option. But don't leave us right now. You can hang out with us, and we will make sure you have everything you need to know from those press conferences as well. Right now, continuing our visit of kind of individual performances in the preseason, which is what it's all about. It's nice that the Bears got the win today and held on. By the way, real quick, Malik Willis and Will Levis both had opportunities to win the game there. Both of them missed game-winning touchdown throws.
How did Will Levis not fall from first round to out of the draft? That guy looks terrible.
For real. I mean, he's playing at the end of the fourth quarter of the first preseason game, and he was nowhere close, gets picked off. I mean, that's crazy for a guy that had rumors he was going to go in the top 5, close to the draft.
Will Levis
too.
might be the number 1 pick in the NFL draft. Will Levis, I don't know, if you watch Will Levis play in college at all, you did not see how that could possibly be. Anyway,
all right.
I did like how the Titans split their quarterbacks and gave them both reps throughout the game.
Yeah, I mean, I understand what they were doing. They have a competition for QB too, and by the way, we didn't really touch on this yet, but I realize Edmonds and DeMarcus Walker and Yannick Ngakoue were not on the field on that first drive.
Right down the field. That's true.
That's the same Malik Willis that Mike Vrabel would not let throw the ball basically a single time in that. I forget who they were playing in that Thursday night game last year, but it was painful to watch.
When they went right down the field and scored, I might have texted like 3 people 0-17, and then they threw the ball to DJ Moore, and then I sent the same text 17-0.
Yeah.
That was the roller coaster I was on.
The defense did shut the Titans out in the second half, though. Max, $10 super chat. It's been 294 days since the Bears last won a football game. Glad to be back with CHGO and Bears fans in a postgame show after a win. Bring on the meatballs. Bears are never losing again. Love it. I'm okay with that statement today.
I mean, when you're talking about preseason coaches, Flus is greater than Belichick. 4-0, man.
Well, technically, he's greater than Belichick in the regular season, too. He beat him straight up.
Excellent point. Didn't mean to do that to you, Flus. You kicked his ass last year, and it was awesome. It was our best win of the year. Bill Belichick hugging you like you were God coach. That was amazing.
Statistically accurate that Matt Eberflus has the greatest preseason winning percentage in NFL history.
Yep. Same thing.
1,000.
Right. And Fields is
Meatball Island.
9,000 yards. Let's go.
Well, someone just
Catch the
commented they
fever.
wanted a Hoagie Meatball Island. I'm here for you.
I'm telling you, man, the Meatball Island it's a fever right now.
Well,
Get on board.
Herb Howard was there pregame.
Herb Howard had 4 meatballs this morning. I mean, if we can get Dan Wiederer on Meatball Island, now we're cooking.
That's not happening.
That is not happening.
That's just not going to ever happen. All right, let's do our rookie report, and let's just go down the line with the draft picks. How about that, guys? Darnell Wright, we'll start there. Did not notice anything bad from Darnell Wright live. There was that one play to the outside, the far sideline, where he had a nice block to help spring the run. So considering Darnell Wright's been up and down a little bit in camp, no false starts, no penalties today from him.
Right.
I like what I saw.
It was a great day for Darnell Wright. There was no moment in time where like, what the hell, Darnell Wright, false start or a penalty, any of that. And then he had his moment of flashing, getting out there and showing that the good feet that we've heard about, the speed plus the physicality. Not a huge body of work, but definitely had a great day from what I could tell.
How about Jervon Dexter then? Really the only criticism I had of him the whole game was when they were on that goal line stand. He made a nice play, actually, the play before to help keep them short. But they're at the 1 yard line, and it wasn't just him. I think it was like the entire line essentially. But I just thought the get off was a little slow on that. When you're at the goal line, you have to fire off the ball there, and it was a little slow. And again, it wasn't just him, but they scored a touchdown on that play as a result. He did get banged up right before halftime.
Scary.
I thought it was very odd he didn't come out, that he was able to play. Look, if it's the regular season and the guy's insisting he's all right and he's staying in the game, I'm all for the toughness. But it's the preseason. I didn't like that but he ended up coming back in. So I don't think that's a serious thing. By the way, I think he just took Travis Gibson like a shot, right? It was friendly fire, and it looked like a thigh bruise.
Yeah.
He took a
Travis kind of fell into his knees, and Gervon Dexter is so big. You feel like that's going to happen a few times to him.
It was nerve-wracking seeing him fiddle with his knee as much as he was.
But I'm not sure it's his knee. He may have just had a thigh bruise.
He was doing a whole lot of rubbing that front of the
Kneecap,
knee, but
I agree.
the best thing is that he did come back out and play in the third quarter, and I would assume the Bears are not going to be accused of malpractice by putting him out there when he shouldn't have been. You literally brought him back in the second half. So
well, that's the thing. If you bring him back to the sideline, you evaluate him, and he's good to go, I got no problem with that. It was like he was clearly hurt out there. He played one more rep and then had to come out. That's what I don't like.
100%. It was weird.
And it wasn't like it was a quick snap. There was a delay there because someone else on the field was hurt, I think, on the Titans at that point.
No, we were all sitting here terrified that something just had happened.
Terrified.
And they let him do another play, and then he didn't look right on that play, and then he came out, and it's like, come on, man. Who's paying attention to what's going on in the field? That shouldn't have happened. Crystal says she was right behind the bench and thinks it was just a thigh bruise. Well, I would never dispute Crystal's reporting.
Dr. Hoge
so
over here.
Dr. Simone.
Yeah. Crystal, by the way, with the big-time seat. Like it. That's where we need our
is a big
CHGO diehards.
All right, Tyreek Stevenson. I need to see the all-22 of that first play, the blown coverage, because it sure looked like it was 29 because he was the one trailing, but that you don't know that.
You don't know who's responsible.
Until you see what the coverage actually was. So I don't know right now. It was great to see Kyler Gordon come up and pop the ball loose at the end of that play. But, yeah, having a blown coverage on the first play from scrimmage, not ideal. Again, don't necessarily know that is Tyreek Stevenson's fault. But he did drop an interception later that was a bad throw. And I wanted Levis, your guy Will Levis, Carm, threw that ball. It was way behind the intended receiver, right through the hands of Tyreek Stevenson. Other than that, though, I think a pretty solid game. The stat line is certainly good. As I bring that back up, 7 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, and he did get credit for PBU.
Yeah, he was a willing tackler. At one point, he was on an island on the right side, one-on-one. Here comes the running back. And it honestly reminded me a lot of Tim Jennings, just in the scrappiness of his nature, the way he went low on him, got him to the ground all by himself.
The Tyreek Stevenson, competition with Terrell Smith that we've been hearing about for a while.
Over.
It does feel kind of over, doesn't it?
It's not kind of over. It's over.
Yeah, I mean, they've been splitting reps at camp, and maybe it'll continue to go down that way. But if we're doing a race here, I mean, Tyreek has got him beat by a significant amount right now.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
And he is going to have his struggles as a rookie cornerback, and he's also going to make plays. That's pretty obvious.
Even if it was his fault on the first one, like that's gonna happen. Even if you're a great corner, or especially if you're a rookie corner, the amount of times that it's a throwing league now, you're gonna get beat sometimes.
Yeah, it's by how much you get beat, right?
Of course.
Because that first play was alarm. Was like, oh my God, 29, come on, man. But he righted the ship. He was, and you gotta love him in run situations where they're coming at him. I mean, he couldn't have played that any better. He's a willing tackler, as we're saying.
And then, it's just
stuff.
aggressiveness, right? I think that's the best word to describe Tyreek Stevenson is aggressiveness, because you saw it there in the tackling, but then you saw it when he jumped the route and nearly picked the ball off. And yes, he did drop the interception, and I know that's something Matt Eberflus puts a lot of value in. You got to get the turnover, but to be able to have the ability and presence of mind to jump the route and the confidence.
Well, and the thing I just love about Tyreek Stevenson, it's been this way all camp. Every time he has a bad play, he battles right through that.
Yep.
And he makes a good play after that. I think you saw that. One of the observations one of you guys made during the game, too, was like basically everything we've seen in training camp was in this game today, too.
That was the
whatever it is, and that's one of the examples.
That was the Silver Fox that made that observation.
Why don't you say that was the brilliant person?
The brilliant
Thank you.
mind and amazing talent.
Thank you.
Chicago media
you.
talent, Mark
Thank
Carman,
you.
that made that observation.
Thank you.
Mark Carman should be in the Chicago Media Hall of Fame.
I agree. No pushback. No one has done more free television in this town than me. no.
That is probably accurate.
I do think I hold that mantle.
Yes, you. That's what it should say on your plaque in the Chicago.
This man was so desperately wanted to get paid, but even though he didn't, he kept going.
So funny.
Carm.
Next on the list, we're going to fire through these a little bit quickly. We got Nicholas Moreano coming up from Soldier Field here shortly. Zach Pickens. I thought he had an active game too.
Flashed. Pickens in the backfield. Let's go.
It was a stunt or a twist?
With Dominique Robinson.
Yep.
And it was interesting because two guys actually went with Pickens, and then someone else, I think, came over and hit Dom Rob, but he fought right through. Now, there was definitely confusion on that old line there, but he fought right through the two guys that were on him and ended up making the play.
And it wasn't a soft sack by any means. He
No.
finished with physicality.
So he was officially credited with 4 tackles, 1 sack, a quarterback hit, and a tackle for loss. Also had the fumble recovery, too. That's a really good game for Zach Pickens to start. So, hey, look, we're 4 rookies into this thing, and
Positive.
all pretty good reviews at this point. Roshan Johnson, one really nice run to start. I thought from there, a little bit shaky. That play at the end where he ended up inbounds, they ruled him out of bounds. It was close to a Marion Barber type play with the clock running down.
There was room there.
He got
I just
down.
would have liked, to just get a feel.
Don't make it so close because a starting defense will get your ass out of bounds, right? They're gonna do
Just
what they can.
Stay inside, get as much
Right.
as you
He's
think
trying to
you
get the
can.
first down, but yeah, you got to make sure you get down first and foremost and drain the clock. I thought he showed good hands in the passing game too.
Yep. He had 44 yards on 12 carries.
Lowers his catches.
Just that last run, I would love to have seen just physical, head
Finish it,
down,
win the game.
kick the living.
But you got to make sure you don't fumble, and you got to make sure you get down in bounds. Those are the top 2 priorities. And then, yes, you want to also get the first down.
Here's the thing, though, that it's 12 carries, it's 44 yards, it's an average of 3.7. You want to be above 4 usually, right? Okay. But he did have 24 of those yards on 1 carry. So the other 11 for 20.
And what did I say yesterday on our Hoagie Meatball show?
I don't know. I wasn't listening.
Well, it was about her. it was about Herbert, but I was gonna. How many Montgomery jokes am I gonna make? But with that 24-yard carry equals the amount of 20-yard plus carries Dave Montgomery had last year with 200 carries. So.
Well,
Okay.
The Bears ran it 29 times today. Roshan had 12 of them. I mean, that's double what Travis Homer got late in the game. Khalil carried it 4 times. Deontay Foreman had 3, and Ebner had 3.
3 catches for 2 yards, by the way.
Okay.
There you go. Right, Bragg's asked for the catching stats.
Yeah.
Tyler Scott.
Most catches of anybody.
Tyler Scott had kind of a disappointing game. I thought I would.
Yep.
If we're gonna get to the first rookie, that it was like I don't know if this was the best. Ball security was an issue. He had a fumble after the catch.
Yep.
Officially, that was his only catch too. By the way, 1 catch, 9 yards, fumble.
There was a ball thrown behind him. He was able to get his right hand on it, did not catch it. We were talking at the time that DJ Moore probably makes that catch right there. It wasn't an easy play. It was a bad throw by
bad
PJ.
throw first.
It was a bad throw, but he did have a hand on it, and then he had the fumble, trying to make a play. Did okay, and was fine on his punt return. Fielded it cleanly, got 9 yards on it.
Another thing that translated from practice. We like Tyler Scott, but there's been way too many balls on the ground, whether it's a drop or fumble, and unfortunately that translated to the game today.
The only slight positive around that fumble was that when he got to the sidelines, literally every player was sitting there trying to,
Talk him up.
talk him up, which
Right, and then
Bears chemistry.
And the other thing that had translated from camp to this game was that PJ Walker is inaccurate. A lot of overthrown passes, and to that, to Tyler Scott when he inaccurately passed it, and that's why people are like, well, who cares about overanalyzing the backup quarterback? Well, the backup quarterback is important, but it's also important for the guys he's throwing to get, a good rep in and have an opportunity to catch the football, so it's, key.
All right, Noah Sewell is the next guy up in order of the how the Bears drafted these guys. He ended up with a sack today. A lot of sacks. Bears defense, man. Also quarterback hit and a tackle for loss. Another solid performance from the linebacker who, quite frankly, has emerged faster than I thought he would. Is definitely look. He's linebacker number 4.
Yes.
And as I said on the pregame, what I expected, Sanborn was the Mike with Edmonds out, and then Noah Sewell was the Sam, but then Sewell ended up playing more once Sanborn and Edwards came out of the game. And I like, between Sanborn and Noah Sewell, they got 2 guys that can play probably all 3 linebacker positions if they have to, and it's great linebacker depth.
To be honest, and Rex Smith putting in the chat here, Sewell greater than Sanborn. I thought that
Sanborn had some nice tackles.
I thought that Sanborn was fantastic. People on Twitter are like, see that, Carman? Like they were going at Sanborn. Like Sanborn was playing 1,000 miles an hour and cracking into people. I thought he played well. And same thing with Sewell, but not. But we are getting. It was a great opportunity for the line, both those guys, to get expanded playing time today with Edmonds out. I thought they both played well.
All right, and then Terrell Smith, I don't believe played. I was a little surprised not to see him on the. Correct me if I'm wrong. If anybody saw him in chat,
It was in the chat saying that he was injured, which I.
No, that surprised. It surprised me pregame that he wasn't on the list of players out because he didn't practice this week. So I was not expecting him to play. He's not on the stat sheet. I didn't see him out there, so I don't think he played. Travis Bell then. He had a sack. He showed up. I guess they ended up only giving him half a sack, technically, on that. But with the TFL as well, 2 tackles. So that was somebody we mentioned pregame.
If he makes the team, I think he's the candidate to help with our meatball sponsorship.
Yes.
Well,
he looks like a meatball.
his play getting to the quarterback was
very round.
That wasn't nice.
Well, I mean, it's it is in a nice way. He's just, I love it.
The guy loses 50 pounds, and now he's calling everybody else around.
No,
Come
I
on.
mean, well, he's supposed to be round. He's a defensive lineman, but he's just, it's like Keith Traylor, just some guys stand out more than others. Andrew Billings is very round too, so I'll throw more people under the bus. But they're round for a reason.
His
Dude.
ego is just out of control.
Oh my God.
Let me tell you something about Travis Bell that impressed me. Not only his fight to get to the quarterback today, that one play was relentless. I enjoyed it immensely. But his kick after the play to celebrate,
Yeah.
hamstring flexibility is key in life. It takes pressure off of your knees. And Travis Bell was able to get his legs so high up in the line. It was he looked like he could be a member of the Rockettes. It was impressive.
I just pictured him with the Rockettes, which is great.
That just shows that he's got dedication behind the scenes to keep that flexibility up. I am more in on Travis Bell after this game than I thought I would be. That was a nice job.
That's good. I like Adam's comment there too. Love Justin Jones' reaction to Travis Bell's sack. I did too.
There we go.
He was excited on the sideline.
This is a pretty high compliment here from Total Anarchy TV, so I just wanted to spotlight it. He said, with the CHGO team's excellent camp coverage, you guys teed up this game perfectly. We knew what the storylines were, who to watch, and what to look out for. Keep up the great work, guys. That's a high compliment, and we appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, appreciate that. That's what we're trying to do here. So thank you very much, and it was fun. I agree with you guys. That was just for a preseason game. I hope the next two are that fun.
Yeah.
I hope the season's this fun, man. I mean, we're heading in the right direction.
All right, last Kendall Williamson, the safety out of Stanford.
No idea what he did.
He's not on the stat sheet.
Okay.
Is Baskerville not a rookie? This dude's flashing everywhere.
I love Baskerville.
Look, Baskerville had a great week of practice,
and then
he had a good game
today.
Yes, he did.
Who the hell is
a rookie?
Baskerville?
Yeah, who the hell is Baskerville?
Micah Baskerville.
Correct.
He's a rookie out of LSU.
Yeah, he's got to be on the rookie report today.
Hey, 3 tackles, had a sack. Let's go, Baskerville.
Great name, too.
Baskerville's my guy.
He's your guy. You're calling him. You're claiming him.
I can't dig Baskerville. I need to be ahead of these things, not behind. And I'm behind on Baskerville.
You're not behind.
I didn't. Yes, I am.
Yeah.
There's somebody was out there on Baskerville way before I was. Just like I was out there telling everybody that the Bears should have drafted Holton Ahlers, who dominated last.
Shut up. You're not. You know what?
I am Holton Ahlers.
Penalty box time.
Quiet, please. He got one.
Yeah, quiet, please, on Carm with Holton Ahlers. I don't want to hear that guy's name ever again on the show.
Somebody
Rude.
in the chat,
Rude.
maybe I'm going to make Gary do this. You got to keep a tally of who's getting the amount.
Braggs has 2. Carm has 1.
I have 2?
Yes, you got
No,
2.
the pins and aces one doesn't count. And
You're about to get number 3, buddy.
This is crap.
You don't argue with the scoreboard.
You-
Oh, number 3.
This is crap. Foul play.
3-1.
And here comes Gary Ross underlining things we don't know. 5 years at LSU. Damn right he was, Baskerville.
Gary's got to be careful. He's going to get a quiet please in the comments. Hey, you know what? It's Saturday. Bears win. I know what I'm doing when the show's over. I am going to go celebrate with some Goose Island. Goose Island Beer Company, one of our awesome sponsors and supporters here at CHGO. They're Chicago's beer since 1988. Goose IPA. Cannot go wrong with the Goose IPA. Can't go wrong with 312 Wheat Ale. If you're feeling extra spicy because the Bears got a victory today, even though it's preseason, maybe you save it for a regular season win. But still, Tropical Beer Hug, dry hopped Imperial IPA, 9.9% alcohol, dangerously easy to drink. And then the full pocket Pilsner. It is the everyday beer. It's what the Goose Island brewers are drinking. Grab ultra fresh brewery exclusive beers at Goose Island's original brew house on Clybourne Avenue in Lincoln Park, or from their tap room on Fulton Street in Westtown. Goose Island Beer Company, Chicago's beer. I know I've said this before, but the original brew house on Clybourne is where I watched the Music City Miracle.
Okay.
When I was a younger Adam Hoge.
And we had a couple Goose last night. Kevin Kadek had a content, and yours truly outside of Wrigley Field.
I saw that picture.
Yeah, had
And
it.
Greg Boyson as well. Doc Willie in there in the comments. I'm officially a diehard. Welcome
All right,
to
Willie.
the team.
Thank you, Doc
Love
Willie.
hearing that. ALLCITY.com/diehard, where you go to become a diehard. And yeah, as Carm likes to say, give us a like here.
We appreciate it. Get fitted out in the best sports gear around with FOCO. That's right. Hoodies, shoes, signs, bobbleheads, everything in between. Summertime coming to an end, but you still have time to get the Aloha shirts, straw hats, polos, bags, everything you need for a game come fall, winter, summer, whatever. FOCO, thank you so much for donating some of the awesome pieces that we put on our set at times. We got a sweet Justin Fields piece, which isn't out today, but it's awesome. Check out FOCO.com, FOCO.com, or click the link in the description below. For all non-presale items, use that promo code CHGO for 10% off.
Why are you looking at me?
Because I was going to do the next pins and aces, and I want to give them a shout out, and my computer is frozen, and that really frustrates
Well,
me.
that's unfortunate, Greg, but
Well, you've been working here long enough. I feel like you should know the read by heart.
Yeah, maybe I should, but maybe I shouldn't, because I don't always read
Well, we know that Pins and Aces is the official golf apparel.
Yeah, the golf
company
apparel.
of all,
We already hit
not
it.
only CHGO,
There's
but all of ALLCITY, and we love our Pins and Aces gear. We get lots of compliments. I wore my Pins and Aces to my golf outing with my friends a couple weekends ago, and they were like, damn, where'd you get that shirt? I said pinsandaces.com. And if you use the code CHGO, you get 15% off your first order and free shipping. Plus, they have the beer sleeve as well, which is awesome. We're going to bring that out with us on Thursday when we're golfing in Indy. Amazing polos, hats, golf bags, and
it is an upper-level hoodie. It is such a good-feeling hoodie.
the hoodie is especially great, like spring and fall.
Pinsandaces.com. Doug.
I might see me break this thing here for the post.
What's the
Is
web-
that what you left earlier
What-
to go get?
Yeah,
Okay.
What's the website again, Braggs? Are you listening to the show?
pinsandaces.com.
There you go, buddy.
And how much do you get off?
They're providing us
What percentage do you get off when you use code CHGO?
15% off.
There you go. And free shipping.
And they're providing
Good
us
job.
some sweet polos available for purchase if you come out for our Cog Hill kickoff CHGO kickoff classic Friday, August 25th. And you see those Pins and Aces polos on the bottom left available for purchase for anyone that signs up. If you become a diehard, you get a discount on this event. Adam Hoge, Mark Carman. Corey Wooten is going to be on hand.
All the heavy hitters are coming out. Adam Johns is going to be there.
Adam Johns is going to be there, making a celebrity appearance. So, I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun. And I know there's a ton of people already signed up to come. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Make sure you come out.
All right. Now I think it's a good time to clean out our notes. We have a fun segment that we do that just came naturally. If there's one thing I missed from last season's post game, it would be Carm's notes. So before we get to Nick, I think we should go to Carm's notes.
I'm gonna lie to you, I got 8 pages of notes today. So we'll I don't want to keep Nick waiting, so we'll go quick. But early on, I did not like the late kickoff. We didn't kick till like 3:11 today. What's going on here? And the kid that was hooping in the parking lot who had the Bears paint on his chest, that was a sweet dude. Let's see here. Chris Moore, number 11 on the Titans, got cracked by Kyler Gordon. Fumble Gordon, that was awesome. Eddie Jackson had a missed tackle early. That wasn't great. Then there was this guy you might remember if you were watching early. His name was Tajay Spears, and Adam Hoge wanted the Bears to draft him and didn't stop talking about Tajay Spears for like the entire first quarter. So Tajay Spears, I told you Tajay Spears. Look at Tajay Spears. Did I not say Tajay Spears? Fluce's T-shirt today, by the way, has made the notes.
I like the T-shirt look.
Yeah,
nice and cash.
Yeah, it looked good. And
the sunglass game was strong today too, although they weren't Shady Rays, which was a little disappointing.
It was a powerful-looking Fluce, and Fluce had a challenge early on a catch and then fumble that wasn't called. Hoge said he wouldn't have challenged. I would have. Fluce didn't get the call. I thought that was BS. Referees, what are you doing?
What I took exception to is the idea of it's the preseason, get the reps. And I'm like, well, still, you should have quality reps, and you should still only challenge what you think is going to be right.
I thought he was right. I thought that the ref screwed him. Jack Sanborn at the goal line made the notes, just flashing down there as per usual. TJ Edwards got sucked in on a touchdown, which was not great.
And maybe held. The referees threw a flag, then they called the flag back, and I think it was okay. I didn't mind that they picked up the flag on that. It was a little touchy.
Yeah, and then here comes the DJ Moore touchdown, 62 yards, walking in. Tevin out there blocking. And then Santos, Cairo from the right hash. Hoge was kind of wondering if that's how they used to do it. God, my arm, my aim
last
is so
year
good.
when he was having his extra point issues, he was kicking from the middle of the field, and then he decided to move it to a hash to try to correct this problem because he said last season that helped him kind of get into more of a field goal mode.
Mm-hmm.
Hashtag brag special teams.
So, yeah, it wasn't napping for that. And so he's carried that over to this season.
I put down in the notes that it was a 3-play, 75-yard drive that took 119, and then Jalen Jones coming down on special teams, making a play, and Adam Hoge yelling, he's making the team. Hoge has put him on there, so there you go. And then here comes Travis Gibson in the backfield, Zach Pickens flashing, and then the Valus. I wrote down at that point, that he fielded it out of bounds before he had his fumble. So, again, Carm, I had a moment there. Darnell Wright block on Herbert. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Again, Jalon Jones making a play, and Hoge in straight euphoria on Jones at that point.
I got very excited about the 3 special teams tackles.
You were absolutely loving it.
I'm not going to lie.
And that's when we went to Fields again in the end zone and all his stats about just straight domination.
Look, there's definitely times where I feel bad that you guys have to watch football with me because I yell a lot of random things. And
you're a football nerd, and we're about to talk to another football nerd, Nicholas Moreano.
I think we're even.
I don't know if it's even, but
no, it's
there is a side of me they don't see on this. If we did a live stream of games, people would see a different side of me.
I love Greg Braggs, but he is exhausting to watch a game with because he doesn't care what's on the TV. He's just gonna spew what's in his mind at any point in time.
So false. You know what? Just go on with this before problems come. It goes worse for you.
Micah Baskerville's on the page here for making a play. Don't know why, but he's here. Deuce Fountain, the Fountain, called for holding at this point in the ballgame. Did not like that.
That was on special teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let's see here. Travis Gibson living in the backfield. Oops, that was off. PJ Walker to Valus Jones on 3rd and 6. PJ dropped to Tyler Scott, the off throw. let's see here. Tyreek Stevenson shedding a block, making a tackle. And Colbert, 23.
Oh yeah, Adrian Colbert
with the jar and the fumble.
That was a big time play.
Yep, Trenton Gill with some boomers out there. Let's go. At this point in the game, Greg Braggs walked over to show Adam Hoge something and put his rump right in my face. That made the notes.
Yeah, I was asking about whether or not it was a legal man downfield, and I was getting clarification.
Right. I was sitting right there, and you didn't care what my life was.
What you're doing, where you're sitting, what you're saying.
It was after that Braggs went back to sit down and reached into his bag and just started mowing beef jerky. Your beef jerky.
Yeah, I need protein.
All right,
I need my protein for the day.
All right, we need some food in here from somebody who'd like to send it because I cannot watch Greg Braggs eat beef jerky the rest of this season. That was nauseating. And then to wrap it up here, Niles North, Barrington Wade, Dwayne Wade, the best Wade, Barrington Wade. Let's go. And Roshan Johnson.
Barrington Wade.
Orange Cassidy.
Staying. Alley oop. Yeah, it's a great ending to the notes for our first game.
Orange Cassidy said because with my rump in your face, he wanted to ask you a question.
He was asking Hoge a question, and I just was I was collateral damage.
Crazy Ace, $5 super chat. You should have a mustache sit in for Nick in studio while he's at Hallis. That way he isn't
Nick's been
missed.
trying to get in here.
Well, right now Nick is at Soldier Field, and we're going to go to him right now because he's been in that locker room grinding away, talking to guys like Darnell Wright and Kyler Gordon and Travis Gibson.
Nicholas appears to be having some video problems right now.
Okay, so we don't have Nick.
Hey, it's preseason for everybody, guys. We'll get them. We'll get it working.
Well, it's that always reliable Soldier Field Wi-Fi, I'm sure.
Arlington Heights, baby.
It's all right. I got dinner plans. No problem. We'll get them next time.
What time's your reservation?
My reservation is for 6:15.
It's 2 hours from now.
Yes, and I've got to write, and I got to pick up Fred and Adele. There's a lot going on here, buddy.
Oh, okay.
The time's a wasted. Carmen's got to get his grades out there.
Well, now we do need to have a mustache sit in for Nick. I have some notes I'll go over in the meantime. Steven, just let us know if and when we grab Nick from Soldier Field. Yeah, obviously did not like having a blown coverage on the first play of the game. But yeah, Kyler Gordon just knocking the ball out like crazy. Or the first two notes were Kyler Gordon knocking the ball out. That means that was happening a lot early on. I thought in general the Bears were going after the football. Hits principle was on full display. They were hitting hard. The ball was coming out. I don't know how many takeaways they ended up with in the end, but that ball was on the ground a lot today. So love seeing that. Okay, we're not going to nitpick, but technically, when they go watch the film with Justin Fields on that DJ Moore touchdown, I guarantee you Andrew Janocko, the quarterback's coach, is going to be like, can we get that ball out in front of him, not behind him? But to DJ Moore's credit, we've been seeing that pretty much every time but once in my notes from all of training camp, DJ Moore ends up making the catch. It was the only one was that slant I mentioned the other day that was too far behind him that he couldn't do that. So would like to see that ball ahead of DJ Moore, but still great play turned into a touchdown. That's why you bring guys like that in, because on any other play in the past, that just goes down as an incomplete pass. And you never think about it ever again. And he turned that into a 62-yard touchdown.
There is a reason that they went from 1 to 9. We better get to Nick right now because we have him and he looks amazing and the Wi-Fi's here.
I think he's somehow got better looking since the pregame show.
It's better lighting, although it is glitching. Hair looks. I mean, he has grown more facial hair in the last 3 hours.
Now we're creeping him out. Hey Nick, what's up, buddy?
And there it goes.
Oh, we froze him on that face after gassing him up like that. That's not good. There he is. There he is.
We can hear you, Nick. Hey, Nick, tell us your number one takeaway from being down there, and then we're going to let you go because this is not great.
Can you say that one more time? One more time, Mark.
I'm going to text you it and say it to you. Give us one thing you learned, and then we'll say goodbye to you because this is not working particularly well.
Okay. Yeah, sorry about this, you guys. This is the Soldier Field Wi-Fi. You should see the food they served earlier today. But I got a chance to talk to Travis Gibson, and actually, Mark, you inspired the question. You texted me during the game. I'm talking about the chart, and Travis Gibson, had he seen the depth chart and did it motivate him? And he deleted social media. He actually didn't see where he ranked on the depth chart, but he heard about it and he wanted to come out and play with a fire to him today because he felt like he didn't have a very good performance in the Family Fest practice here at Soldier Field. So I think there's a little bit of motivation by the where he was on the depth chart, how he played previously in practice, and that's kind of the performance you saw today.
That's awesome. I love that nugget that, yes, okay, I'm not paying attention to it, but it got to him. And he certainly played with his hair on fire. Anything on the offensive side of the ball that you were able to get from postgame, Nick?
Yeah, and again, sorry for everyone watching with the connection not being very, very stable, but I got a chance to kind of listen to Darnell Wright a little bit and just get his perspective on these big screenplays that happen. And he was asked by Patrick Finley, what's going through your head when you see these screenplays and, Khalil Herbert, DJ Moore go downfield? He's like, just go, go. And he just wanted, because he was on the backside of both those plays, but he was also asked about, do these quick hitting plays, are they easier on offensive linemen? Are they harder? And one thing you could see both sides of the coin, he said. And basically he said, well, one, you don't have to pass block for as long on these quick plays, but also at the same time, you have to think faster when you're doing these quick hitters out to the flats and things like that. So he said that also the defense has been keying in on those plays in practice, and that's why maybe we haven't seen them be as successful in practice, but he was really happy to see it happen today against the Titans.
And Kyler Gordon obviously had those two big plays early where he knocked the ball loose. Just what did he have to say about making those plays? And just, Nick, I just thought the tone of the defense, even though it wasn't great giving up that touchdown drive early, it definitely was not pretty, but they were hitting hard the entire game. That ball was coming out.
Yeah, no, he said I asked him about those two hits and what kind of led him to be in position to make those plays. And he said just the way our defense is built. He said also like the backside wins championships because Kyler Gordon had to track down the first ball carrier because that wasn't his man. And that's why he was able to get a hit on the wide receiver there. So it's just a lot of effort and just feeling comfortable in that nickel spot allowed him to, how he put it, find someone lacking and really put a really big hit on the same receiver for both plays. So he credits how the defense is built and, just a lot of effort. Obviously, we know that Eberflus is big on, running to the football, and that's what he did, being on the backside defender and getting a free clean hit and almost jarring the ball out both times on both those hits.
Nick, give us your Nicholas Moreano. You know more about football than everyone except for Adam Hoge, more than Mark Carman, more than Greg Braggs. The biggest nerd you were happy to see thing today that perhaps just made your football heart smile?
Ooh, that's a really good question there, Mark. I was just really impressed with how Tyreek Stevenson played throughout the entirety of the game, you guys. Because I think you saw, a corner that wasn't afraid to play physical. He was getting in on the run game, was getting physical with running backs, making tackles near the line of scrimmage. But then reading these out routes like it's an open book and he just needs to complete the play. And Kyler Gordon was a little mad, or he wasn't mad. He was like, he should have had the interception. So he got really excited, but that's just a really smart level play by Tyreek Stevenson to be in position to cover the wide receiver. But you saw different levels of his game show up in this one matchup, and he was targeted quite a few times, but for the most part, Tyreek Stevenson showed up, and I think he took everything, you guys, that he experienced throughout training camp. Look, he was battling for first team reps. He's getting in verbal arguments with Chase Claypool and, intercepting Justin Fields and doing all these things. But he was able to go out there and show his best version of himself today against the Titans.
All right, Nick, we're going to let you go just because of the Wi-Fi connection, but all the information we heard was outstanding. Thank you so much for hustling behind the scenes at Soldier Field. Make sure you check out all of Nick's coverage at Nicholas Moreano on Twitter, and we'll have it all up at allchgo.com as well. He'll have all the coverage from Soldier Field, and we'll work on that Wi-Fi for yes.
Any quick preview on what you're writing, Nick?
Just some quick takeaways, some observations, stuff that I was kind of alluding to here, but more stuff from the locker room. Sorry again that the internet's not what it should be. Being in in a nice stadium like this should be better. But yeah, so make sure you tune into CHGO to check out all the great all the work that we're doing there and what I have to say about this game.
All right, thanks, Nick. Nick, we appreciate it. At Nicholas Moreano on Twitter. The good news is Nick wrote us a book of notes that we have.
Wow.
So if you weren't able to follow along there, I think we can translate a lot of this. Going back to Travis Gibson mentioned that he thought his Family Fest practice last week was not great, so he came into this week with his hair on fire, and obviously that showed in the game. He deleted his social media, heard about how he was last on the depth chart but never actually saw it. Won't let the outside doubt get to him. He was asked, does that motivate you on the depth chart? He said he's been doubted his whole life. He only got one offer out of high school. That's what carries him. How did it feel with his performance? He said it's not enough. He left a lot of plays out there. It's not a me game. It's a team game. He says the D-line room is full, needs to look at himself in the mirror and compete. So that was everything from Travis Gibson.
Good for him.
You like to hear. Kyler Gordon obviously had those two big plays early. He was asked what allowed you to make those types of hits. He said just the way our defense is built. The backside wins championships. Play with effort. Felt great. Got to catch someone lacking. It got him and the rest of the guys on defense juiced up. What should Bears expect from him in year two? He said straight elevation. Another level of comfortability, ready to prove himself right. He says he's absolutely more comfortable in the slot. Kyler was also asked what he saw out of Tyreek Stevenson in this game, and he said with a smile on his face, he should have had that pick.
He definitely should have.
There we go.
I love that mentality. From
Absolutely.
Hold your teammates to high standards. They got to get those takeaways. But he said Tyreek Stevenson is a baller, and he's going to do a lot of good things for this defense. Expectations for this unit, never puts limitations on it. He expects to have the best DB group out there. They're going to show it through their play. Finally, with Darnell Wright, mentality on a screen, just go. What does it mean for the offense to have that short pass and touchdown? He mentioned Braxton Jones downfield, Cody Whitehair downfield. We mentioned that early in the show. Great blocks on both of those plays. Tevin said the defense has been sniffing out those screens, so it felt good to get one of those. I'm assuming he's talking about in practice.
Yeah.
Because they've been playing.
They did in the last practice open.
I've been noticing that the last week or so in
Yeah.
training camp. Like the defense has gotten used to the offense.
Yep.
And some of the plays. They could see it coming. How was it playing in Soldier Field for the first time? He said it was amazing and he was nervous. Again, this is Darnell Wright. Is it harder for the offensive line when the ball comes out faster? He says it can have two sides to the coin. You got to think faster. So those were the notes that Nick shared with us before he came on. And still a good hit. Want to make sure we shared everything he had in case you couldn't hear it all.
And just real quick on our our CHGO Sports Instagram, there's an interview with Darnell Wright that you can go check out if you want to get some extra content there. Tons of stuff being put up all the time, but just noticing the Darnell Wright thing.
Yeah, he had on the second series, there was a pitch right to Khalil Herbert. That was the play that Cole Kmet had a nice downfield block, but Darnell Wright had the seal block to get Khalil Herbert to the second level, and you can kind of see how Darnell Wright turned his guy as Khalil Herbert came around the edge. I thought that was really nicely done, so encouraged by him.
All in all, just I think a very good day for the Bears.
Yep.
I mean, really, there's a lot of stuff that you can point to as progress.
Well, and then the one thing with Tyreek Stevenson that we should mention when you were talking about him, he had that personal foul where he.
Yeah, but
I like the aggressiveness, but I think that's going to be a part of the other side of the coin with him is he's got to be careful at times.
perhaps he's not going to get the benefit of the doubt either, but as most rookies are not going to.
I'd prefer to him to be aggressive.
But the play that he hit, that he got called for, what are they? flagrant, whatever the hell.
Right, like targeting, essentially.
Yeah, the receiver was in bounds. It should not have been. That should not have been a flag.
Disagree.
So
A couple things here, too, that I'm sure we would have gotten to with Nick, but obviously we had that technical problem. So I'll give proper credit to the reporters on these tweets. Chris Emma tweeting that this Matt Eberflus quote after the game, I thought we took a step forward today, and we're looking forward to next week. So Flus feeling like this was a step in the right direction, which is what you want in the preseason regardless. Let's see here. DJ Moore admitted that he was nervous before the game, first time suiting up in a new city, and apparently DJ Moore and Khalil Herbert were debating which one had the better touchdown run after the catch. That's courtesy of Sean Hammond on Twitter. And then this from Courtney Cronin. Let's see, where did this go? Justin Fields on the benefit that comes with adding a quick game to the Bears offense. Anytime you have those playmakers where you can throw the ball 5 yards, run a slant, and he could take it 60, that makes my job easier. That makes the O-line's job easier. And after a period of time where you keep dinking and dunking those short passes, the defensive coordinator gets impatient, starts blitzing more, pressure more, playing more man coverage, and that's when those deep shots naturally happen. I think it's going to be a good thing for us this year.
bang, bang.
So
Let's
the
go.
ultimate debate here between Braggs and Carr.
Dink and dunk brings the funk.
Does it bring the funk or does it get you sunk?
What do you think,
If you
Mother
can go
Goose?
downfield,
Justin Fields seems like a funk guy. He says you
We
dink and dunk,
got
then
the
you bring the
funk.
funk, the deep ball.
Dink and dunk the funk.
if dink and dunk leads to bomb and TD,
Dink and dunk leads to chunk.
There you go. Leads to the chunk.
okay, buddy.
Now we're going somewhere.
Dink and dunk will hopefully lead to lots of chunk.
All right, I got a couple tiny notes here. Then we'll wrap up some super chats and get Carm to his dinner reservation.
Thank you.
I have to say the end of half bothered me. I know it's not all starters, but that was where you had Tyler Scott's catch, fumble. Bears were in position to add points going into half with getting the ball coming out of halftime. We call that double dipping. And instead it led to a 41-yard field goal for the Titans. So the whole execution right before halftime I was not a fan of. Didn't like it.
I love when Coach Hoge shows up on the show. And you're making very valid points.
PJ Walker, I'm starting to hit the alarm button. I feel like we've given him enough of a leash here with the high throws in practice. We've been bringing it up every once in a while, but we've not been panicking. Then his first throw today is a high throw to Equinemius St. Brown that gets picked off.
I'm not in PJ Walker panic mode. Dude's had success in the league. He's won games. He's adjusting to a new system. I like the way he spoke
Like the
this
quick
week.
passes, when he gets it out fast, they were fine. But anything downfield,
Yeah.
Plus, we got Bajan waiting in the wings.
Bajan, in my notes, long throw to your guy Deuce Fountain, which, again, is not his real name, but Carm calls him Deuce Fountain, so that's what we're rolling with.
The fountain was flowing. We saw some flowage. I was down with the fountain. Let's go.
Last thing, Cairo Santos, money on the 49-yard field goal.
how about Trenton Gill, too?
Love to see
He had a good day, too.
Trenton Gill, he got some luck. Trenton Gill got his own super chat early in the show.
Yep.
Hogue didn't like the hang time. 23-yard
I need
net
to go
late in the
back and
game.
time it. I'm not panicking, but
Too much
the other
into
punt, the first two punts were outstanding, absolutely great. All right, I know we have some super chats to get to. Steven, I know there was a ton where I know you've been showing them. Let's get to some of the big ones. I know Big Cram had a $9.99 at the beginning.
Big cram.
Probably limited to 10 and over. I don't know. They've all gotten screen time, right?
Yeah, everyone has.
We appreciate all the super chats. We'll touch on a couple here at the end. Big Cram says, it's just the preseason. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but there were a lot of great things that back up what I've been saying all year. Bears are going 17-0. They're going to the Super Bowl. Full meatball.
That's part of me. You're a part of me, Big Cram.
Big Cram is vice president of Meatball Island.
I don't know why we have to go that bad of a picture of me, Big Cram. I think we could.
That was the pew pew.
We have a worse picture, I know. There is a worse picture.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Oh,
That one's courtesy of Harry Tynowitz.
yeah, HT, I lost some bet to him when we were doing radio, so I had to go and rake the leaves off his lawn. And like Harry Tynowitz,
You get him off the roof, too?
Right, see the roof and everything else. No one has ever done less yard maintenance than Harry did back in the day.
Wait a minute. That's a real photo of you?
Doesn't
Yes.
look like you've done very much
That
yard
looks like your
maintenance.
head is photoshopped on somebody else's body.
Yeah. What are you wearing?
I'm wearing a great Saturday rake. I mean,
That's not
Leaf
you.
clean-
Come on.
What's
do you think that Harry Tynowitz has the ability to superimpose me on a body?
No.
Guy can barely. He has no talent as far as technology whatsoever. That's me, buddy.
Look, first of all, Harry has a new liver. He can do whatever he wants.
yeah?
Harry's
got
going to
superpowers.
Harry's going to Springsteen. Harry's living his life. I love Harry. That's me, buddy. That's real life.
Harry Tynowitz, we do love you very
Yes.
much.
Thank you for the content, Harry. If you got any more pictures in the archive, send them my way.
Harry, you were trying to be nice, and you've ruined my life.
He totally, he helped me because while I revealed this picture to Carm earlier, while he was calling me sloth, and that shut him up real quick.
All right, Steven, what else we got here? You let us know.
We got Ryan Weiss here. Great scrambles by DJ and Herbert today. What did y'all notice about the blocking today, those plays included?
Hustle, getting downfield, wanting to contribute. Dudes looking to make a name for themselves. Liked it.
Hits, like you said, when it happened. Those guys get, the offensive lineman on the Herbert run, getting all the way down to the 10-yard line on a big play like that. That's the hits principle.
It is.
Yep,
Rock-
it is.
Rock and roll, dog.
Mm-hmm.
And the no hits principle for Justin Fields that I live by. No hits.
Didn't get hit.
That's what I want to see.
Nice little
Edward
dump off.
Rhymes, $5 super chat. Brags, Peter King used your brick by brick line. Chicago sports interview when asked how Poles was building the Bears. That's right. Ride the wave, baby. Brick by brick.
Peter loves the show.
You can get those shirts. Rumor has it Ryan Poles owns a brick by brick shirt now.
Yeah, maybe a few players too.
Wow. It's a movement. You got to jump on board now. You can get those, by the way,
Ride the wave.
CHGOlocker.com, brick by brick. Get the shirts. Get the hoodies. It's almost hoodie season. I can't wait to bring my brick
come
by
on, don't
brick
say
hoodie
that.
out.
Don't say that.
Well, it's football season.
It's
I
not
kn-
almost hoodie season.
I thought about wearing brick by brick today, but the likelihood that Braggs was wearing it was higher than wearing this shirt, so I didn't want to go twinsies again.
We have been twins. We're going to have to start coordinating.
Braggs either owns 4 of the shirts he's wearing or he's worn that 6 times this week.
I wore it the first day of camp. Other than that, that's it. What are you guys
Lies.
talking about?
Lies.
Next
The
super
Duke.
chat.
We love the Duke, $9.99. I was kind of hoping we'd lose, get it out of the way. I don't want to win preseason games. Apparently, that's a harbinger of doom. Bears went 3-0 in the preseason last year, and now 4-0. Matt Eberflus, preseason GOAT.
Is it Harbinger or
It's
Harbinger?
Harbinger.
That's a quiet please for Hoge.
Okay, I'll
It's not
take
a
it.
quiet
just,
please.
just straight, just went at Harbinger out of nowhere.
Harbinger.
I was thinking about Harbaugh, I think. I don't know.
He Harbinger, Harbinger,
Harbinger?
Harbinger of things to come.
All right.
I'd like
I
to
want
say
a
thank
refund
you.
on my St. Ignatius education after that moment.
Mr. Lapish helped me with that, even though he blatantly favored all the kids that he liked and didn't like, and gave fake grades, and I'm still mad about it. Don't worry about it, Lapish.
No idea what Carmen's talking about for the last 20 seconds.
No quiet, please.
Yeah.
Look at we're juicing
Next
the
super
scales
chat.
here.
Lapish screwed me.
Carmen, why don't you read this one?
$15 from Ace Bandage. I know it wasn't a bomb, but the first throw from 1 to 2 was a long touchdown. Not trying to show the deep ball in open practices or preseason games, or is Braggs still concerned about the deep ball? Questions for you, Braggs.
The idea that they're at practice and they're like, okay, we're not going to throw any deep passes because we don't want to show them in open practice is the silliest of the 38 excuses I got why we haven't seen those at camp, for one. 2, yes, I said I'm concerned about it. Not that Justin Fields can't throw the deep ball, but that they simply need to practice it. So the fact that there wasn't only but one that I saw in open practices to Tyler Scott, it's fine. And today I'll take that result all day long. Dink and dunk brings the funk. Does
I'm just
not get you sunk. And I've been reporting that the underneath stuff has looked clean the entire camp. But he has not thrown many deep balls to DJ Moore, if any, in a game.
Are you really worried about deep balls?
I'm not worried about
Justin
it. It's
Fields is
just
good at the deep
weird
ball.
that we didn't see any at camp. It's just weird. And when the season comes around, when you're throwing deep, you're not always going to be wide open like Tyler Scott was on the one double move. So it helps to have practiced it a few times to understand where the receiver wants it, ball placement wise or whatever. And so that's the point. You know, when we get to the season, they'll have very limited times where they've actually done this in practice.
For a transcript of Greg Braggs' response to that super chat, please send me an email. I'll get it to you. Good God.
Finish the super chats.
Timely super chat here from Steven D, $10. Screens in the short game are where Fields struggled in the past, so succeeding at what he failed at is exactly what I needed to see. Again, not to nitpick, but I wish that throw to DJ Moore was in front of him, not behind him. But
we're all right.
Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown.
Did what he had to do. It was nice seeing him just hang out, no pads, chilling on the sideline, enjoying his day. QB1.
All right, a couple more quick ones, then we're going to get out of here. The Bears bastard, $199. Another day, another Braggs deep ball freakout.
I know. Nuance is lost on everyone today, including my co-host. So just have it. I don't care. I'm freaking out about the deep ball. I'm not freaking out about the deep ball. I make one observation, and we're going to act like this is extrapolated into something it isn't. So I'm done talking about it.
For more on that, check out Spaces.
Yeah, come to Spaces. I'll be happy to cuss anyone out that wants to come in there and talk about it.
Oh, another quiet Braggs, and I didn't even order that one.
$9.99 from Brandon Wolf as I move it along here. Hey, guys. Love the show. Thanks so much, Brandon. Longtime Twitter friend of Mr. Braggs. Lost my pops unexpectedly 2 months ago and asked him for some help for Fields today. Papa Wolf delivered. Sorry about the loss of your dad. Brandon, thank you for sharing and appreciate your support, and apologize that you've known Greg for as long as you have.
Yep. My condolences to you and your family, Brandon.
Papa Wolf and Papa Bear, great tandem.
There we go.
Up there, I think. And it was fun to watch this game today and see that. The Duke, another one, $9.99. The take home from the offense today, Fields isn't our only weapon anymore. And
True story.
It's great to see. Absolutely love it. What was our final count on Quiet Pleases?
I think Braggs just took the
them.
lead. I think you just took a 3-2 lead there.
Oh, I thought he was already.
No, I'm up 3-1 because Hoge's juicing it. I got one of them off the pins and aces tangent that he brought up.
4 for you.
Yeah,
I think
you just
one
add another one right there.
Whatever.
One
Yeah.
for
You
Carm.
guys can juice them all you want. If we're playing straight up, Carm's losing this season. But we're not, because you guys are playing dirty poker over there.
We are going to keep standings. And you're way behind. It's 4-1 to 1.
They're
right
juicing it.
now. No one's
Don't
juicing.
worry. When Lawrence comes back,
Quiet, please.
That's the problem here is he's not respected.
Yeah, I could actually just mute him. That is an
That
option.
would be great.
well, guess what?
Oh, I did it. I did it.
You're
Nobody
talking
hears you.
to no one right
Nobody
now. No
hears
one can
you.
hear you. He says okay.
Guess who's producing next Saturday?
Are you really?
Yeah. So we'll see what the numbers look like next Saturday.
Who made that schedule?
Oh, you're in my world
Jesus.
now, Grandpa.
I'm scared. All right. Hey,
Just Grandpa Hoge? I think he just grandpaed you,
Papa
Hoge.
Hoge. Papa Hoge's a good man.
Papa Hoge is a great man.
All right. We're going to get out of here at this point. But we appreciate all the super chats that have come in. They're just quite frankly not all going to be able to be talked about, but we can make sure we get them all on the screen. We love you guys. Please hit that like button. Please hit the subscribe button. As I like to say, tell a friend. Send this link to this show to a friend that you know is a Bears fan. Let's keep the movement going here at CHGO. Let's keep growing the show. An insane amount of people watching the show live today, not only here on the postgame show, but pregame. And we really, really appreciate that. The likes are up there. Let's keep those flowing. And we're all really excited about the Bears season here at CHGO. We know you are too, and we're going to keep it going. We'll take tomorrow off. It is an off day. Really not, though. We'll be looking at the film. We'll be watching it. We'll come back Monday. with everything kind of left over from the game. Also, there is a Bears practice Monday, so we'll have that covered for you. And then we're headed down to Indy as a group this week. We will be there for the Bears practices. They are night practices, and we are going to be up late with you guys on CHGO Bears.
Late night. Let's do it.
That's what I'm saying. And we got some surprises along the way in Indy, too, that we're really excited about. And, of course, we'll have the second preseason game covered for you from down in Indianapolis. Anything else?
No, just a great day today. I thought that you could not have kicked off the preseason much better. Seems like they got it out of this game healthy. Fingers crossed on that part of it. And they certainly, I think a lot of Bears are going to sleep well tonight when their head hits the pillow.
All right.
Step in the right direction, baby. It's going to be a fun season.
Good luck to you, Greg.
All right. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, Bears fans. We will talk to you on Monday at 3 o'clock.